about our experience as international students here in USA. But before we start, I just want to say hi to all of my friends here. Hi, Songai, Kenny. Kenny, it's been a long time.
Yes.
You didn't see Kenny for a long time, right, guys? How was your trip?
It was good.
He was here, you know, the finance, you know, traveling, doing all the stuff. Thank you guys for following us. And today, as I say, we're going to talk about our experience as international students here in US. And for that, I have a list of questions, guys.
Okay.
And I just want to go ahead and ask the first question, which is, how long have you been here? And I'm going to start with Issa.
Thank you so much. Just to introduce myself, my name is Issa Bisiri, so I'm from Burkina Faso, country of upright people. I've been in the United States I came to the United States by the end of 2014, and the first years I spent it in New York, and after 1 year I transferred to Northeast Community College, Nebraska, back in 2016, and after a couple of years I got my associate degree. I transferred to Wayne State College, the same state, Nebraska. And back in 2020, I graduated with a degree of chemical health science.
Thank you, Issa.
Yes.
Songai?
Thank you, Hawa. My name is Abdul Tahil Songa. I'm from Togo, West Africa. So I've been in the United States since 2015, 8 years actually.
Wow.
So I went to Western Iowa Tech. I came as an international student as my friend, and so I've been in Western Iowa Tech Community College when I came here first, and then I transferred to Wayne State College, and now I graduate from there in 2022. So I'm taking break now. So
I know, just like say that Songai, he already graduated, but he decided to join this team to support us and to share his experience as international student before finishing his school and have his degree. So thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and yes, Kenny, what about you? A little bit presentation.
Hi, my name is Kenny Johnson. I'm from Ivory Coast, and I've been in the US since 2017. So I was first at Western Iowa Tech Community College, and then I was pursuing an associate degree in business administration, and then I transferred to Wayne State College, where I'm currently doing a bachelor degree in economics and finance.
Perfect. So by the way, my name is Awa. I'm from Senegal, and I came to United States in 2021. And actually, I'm a nursing student in Western Iowa Tech Community College. So yes, that was all for the first question. And I'm gonna go ahead and ask you the second question, guys, which is, first of all, based on your experience, do you think it's easy or difficult to get admission to come study in US?
If I have this question, I can. It is hard to say it is easy or hard. If I talk about my own experience, I would say it is very easy. But if I see, the people that fail to attend in United States schools, and that I know and that I don't know, I can tell you that it's very difficult to have people, coming to study in the United States. And especially lately, it has been hard for most people, to be here in the United States to study. Because some, one sent me last time the news about, how the percentages of the people that come in to study in the United States is in regression. That's
Right.
like, it's hard. I can tell you that it's hard.
Yeah.
Even though some people can tell you it's hard, it is easy. It's relatively easy for some people, but it's hard in general. Yeah.
Right. What about Issa? What do you think about this question?
Okay, thank you so much for this question. I think it's not. I think it's something that's depend of each one of us. So some people might find that it just is very easy. Some people might find that it's really hard. But as far as I'm concerned, to be honest, when it's very hard. Yeah, it was very hard for me because when I was back home, so I couldn't even speak English, so I don't understand what's going on, and
and I had a strong motivation, desire to come to United States to study. I want to come to United States to study, but I don't understand anything how the procedures is going to go. So I went to the internet and to try to search for university or college, and everything was written in English.
Yeah.
So back home we speak French. So I couldn't understand anything what's going on. I had to look for a translator to be helping me sometimes, you know, to be guiding me like a kind of a guide. So he's the one of my brothers. So he is the one who was who was really guiding me, you know. You're just directing me that this university is really great because he's just translating it basically for me. He's not the one who chose the university for me, but he's the one that really was just basically just translating stuff for me. For me, it was very hard, but with a really strong motivation, nothing is very impossible. So you guys can do it, even if it's very hard. You know, if you have your really strong motivation, you can get it through very easily.
Perfect. What about Kenny? How do you think about that? It was easy for you? It was difficult? Is that talk about the language barrier, the motivation, which is really great, and just what about you?
Well, I'm not gonna say it's easy or difficult, and well, I don't think it takes motivation. I think it takes a lot of work. Yeah, because like, I mean, like during the process, you're gonna encounter a lot of struggles, you know.
Right.
So
Challenges.
you have to be willing to keep going,
Right.
and not give up, you know. So,
Perfect.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can get some doubt, but just keep going.
I had something to add probably before we move on. What I was going to say, like, it doesn't take the decision, your own decision, to come to study in the United States for you to do it. It has, like what my friend said, it has a lot of process and a lot of obstacles. I can decide to come in the United States to come and study, but I can succeed only if I went through the process and I succeed, especially the interview to come here.
Right.
And moreover, when you come here and people ask you how you finance your school, so before you come to study in the United States, the most difficult thing is how you're going to finance your school. Now people think like sometimes you guys are sent by your government, or some people, you know, they didn't know that you're paying your money out of pocket. So that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that. So a lot of obstacles are, you know, it's taking a lot of things for us, you know, to be able to be here.
I think there is a lot of things that you have to take into account emotionally, like the economics part, you know, culturally.
Basically just
and the language also.
just some obstacles.
By the way, talking about culture and differences, what was your first impression when you just got here in the United States? I can say your first week or your first month. What do you think about this society? What was your impression, guys?
Okay, thank you so much. As already mentioned it, so my first years I spent it in New York City. So my first impression was American people. To be honest, when I was coming to United States, so I thought that, you know, people, since we are not from the same culture and we are not from the same country, so we are not going to learn from each other. So everything was very confusing. Every time I see someone from a different country, I'm completely afraid. I was very afraid of going to that person and asking some information, because when I came out, so I couldn't speak English, so I was very confused. Every time I see someone from a different country, I was very restrained. I'm restricting myself from going because I'm afraid of a backlash and stuff. So, but with time, I learned that people are very curious about learning different culture. So my first, I remember my first years in university. University in Nebraska. So when I started my first year, so one guy came to me and he was like, "Do you need a host family?" I said, "Yes, I need a host family." The first time I said no, I don't need, because I was very afraid if I go, maybe that person is going to say, "Hey, you're from Africa, you're from different culture, so I don't need to interact with you." So I said no, and then he came back to me the second time, and then I said no. He came back the third time and said, "He said, do you need a host family?" I said yes. So, and then he introduced me to one nurse. So she was basically a teacher instructor, in the same college and stuff, the same university. And then she started taking me like, she just accepted me into their family. So she gave me basically everything. Sometimes she's even inviting me to come to their house and cook. So to be honest, my first impression was American people. It's very loving people. They really cared about people. Once you come to United States, do not be afraid to go and talk to them. They are very curious about learning different cultures.
Yep.
Yes.
That is a very nice story, and I'm just gonna add the fact that sometimes is what we see on media, the racist part,
Oh yeah, I was about to mention this topic about the racism and stuff, but I just restrained myself because I thought that it's not really relevant. But to be honest, so don't take the racism part and just put it in your head and be like, so sometimes the media always portray what is bad. So if something is good, the media doesn't want to show it. They're always portraying something that is very bad, discriminating. So do not be afraid. Not everyone is racist. There are some racist people, but most American people, white people, they are not racist. They are very curious about learning. They want to learn from you. So always have a positive mindset and positive attitude toward them, and I think you will be completely fine.
Perfect.
Yes.
Sangay, what about you? What was your first impression when you just got here?
It was 8 years ago. I don't know if I can recall all the impressions that I had, but I can tell you.
Even if it's something
So, by the way, I can still remember when I got here anyway. But like you guys said, I don't know if I have something particular to add. It was interesting to meet the people that are very thankful, welcome, because the people that welcomed me from the airport, I didn't know them, because they're from school. They welcome me and they are always trying to help me. Everything that I need, they propose me their help, even though I think I don't need help. So they're always there to talk to me, to make me feel comfortable. So I was stranger because I didn't even know the city where I was coming. Everything seems like a stranger to me. But because the environment was very nice and then very loving, like you guys said. I felt like I began creating the familiarity, before the people that, I met. And that's how we went through, and I can tell you that we had good experiences.
I have one thing to add to Songai, what Songai said, that people will be behaving like a little bit strange. Sometimes it's not because they hate you, it's because they don't have time. Like back home, back in Africa, when you ask someone something, so they got plenty of time to explain you. But in the United States, do not expect this kind of treatment. It's not because they don't like you, but sometimes they are very busy because everything needs to be done on time.
No, it depends. To me, I got to help.
Oh, yeah, that's really true. Okay.
Or do you want us? We can pass to another question too, because I think we all share the same.
Oh yeah, pretty much the same.
Yes.
One of the things about the US is like everything is bigger.
Bigger. Yeah.
Like
when you got here, you
big,
like
big cars,
big money, big cars,
big people.
So.
And also, I think one of the good things is that it's like the culture.
Yeah.
There was like
very
a big melting pot.
Oh, yeah.
Like a lot of people from different countries.
Right.
There's some people I know. There's some people like some culture I never thought about meeting them before.
Right.
Until I came here. Yes.
Exactly. Just one point that I'm gonna mention is the timing. Because I used to hear people say time is money. I didn't understand that when I was in my country. I get that when I came here. Why? Because at that moment I was in my first, like it was just, I can say my first week of school. I started meeting people. I wasn't working, I was just studying. But I will see some of the Americans, the people that are students, they will come to school at 8, finish class at 10,
And
go to work at 12, come home at 8, eat and go back to work at 9. And I'm like, how is that? Because in my country, most of the time, people just go to school.
Either you go to school or you go to
Or
work.
you work. Or if you are working, it's part-time, Saturday, Sunday, and then you got home. So I understand that here. And some people doesn't even have time to eat like in Africa, we have breakfast, lunch, dinner. 8, 12, 8 p.m. You know, the same time every time you eat together. Here, some people are so busy working because they have to provide for their family. They have to eat outside. It's really impressive, and it taught you how it took. And I understand why United States is a big country and a very a powerful country, because they put
the value on the time.
Exact on the timing, and that is very interesting as international students to have this value.
I think time is more valuable in the United States than money.
Okay. Really?
Yeah, time is valuable in the United States
Right,
than money.
exactly. And I don't know, we can just go ahead and mention the third question that I have here, and it's about the difference because as students we're gonna talk about the schooling and everything. Do you guys think do you see any difference between school in your country and school in the United States? Like, what is the big difference, or if there is any difference that you can mention?
Oh, okay, if I have to go, I can tell you that there are a lot of similarities, between the school in here and the United States and in especially in Africa where I come from, because I have been in the middle school there, high school there, university there, and I can tell you, when you take the university part of school, it seems like the same because we have the same, the same bachelors, the same classes most of the time.
Right.
The thing is, like, maybe we can discuss about the quality of the education, and all the infrastructure of education, probably the difference. But the way to teach sometimes is, even though there is the difference, is not that big difference. But when you look to the school, back here, like in the middle school and the other side of the part of the school, you will see the difference. Because in our countries, when you see, the government is very involved, in the exams that we having, especially at the end of each part of the educational system. Like a high school, when you want to move from high school to university, the exam is national. It's not like that in here. Every school is has the autonomy. I mean, has the I don't know how to say it. It's independent. To decide which student will go forward. It's not the same way in our countries.
Yep. Yep, guys.
Oh, thank you so much. So I think some guy already, our brothers already said pretty much everything. But something that I want to add is, if they ask me what is the difference about this teaching, like the school in the United States, the materials and the difference between the material, like the school material in the United States and Africa. To be honest, one big difference that I noticed is like school in the United States, like school, when I'm talking about school, like including the exams also, are pretty much easier compared to Africa. Because United States, the teacher will give you pretty much everything. We go slowly. There was always some how do we call this one, like a tutor. There's some tutor for each courses that you are taking. There are tutor. If you are having some trouble, so you can always refer to the teacher or maybe go to the tutor. Tutor is like Tuesday, I'm not going to but just to explain it.
Somebody that reveal.
Yeah, someone that's already took the class and then he succeeded gratefully in the class. So he has many knowledge about the course. So he's the tutor. So if you are having some trouble, you can always refer to the tutor or the instructor, and then he will make things very easy for you. Sometimes some Americans are even asking me like a school in Africa, like what's the make school in Africa? Because each time they ask me, I'm always telling them that school in Africa is very cool. In my countries in Africa, it's very hard. And they'll ask me what is the reason behind it. So if you guys allow me later, I will respond to it. But okay, and another big difference that I've noticed is a school in the United States are more strongly abiding the policy than back in Africa. You see, back in Africa, we are sometimes playing with the emotion and sometimes. So even if a school, even if in the classroom, they said it's only 50 people, no more. So in Africa, sometimes when you come and then beg to, the principal of the college or university, sometimes he can sometimes just let you in, even if in the policy it said that 50. But United States they are not doing it. If it says 50, they are always concentrated. They will just limit it to 50. But you need to wait for another semester sometime to
I know this, which is, I'm not gonna compare that personally because the situation is different.
Yeah, the situation is different. I know. Yeah, it's different. That's what I said. Well, that's what I noticed.
I didn't want to go, in the deep, because if you want to go to the deep, we will even talk about the, when we sit in, we will talk about where we, how we do to attend the school. Are we working? Are we taking the cars? It will go. It's a big deal. There is also difference between, like I said, the level. Probably we must talk to, about the university would be better. Because if you want to go forward, down to the middle school and the high school, it will be like a lot of things that are very not quite the same, Yeah.
But one thing that I noticed, when you do your you begin your study in Africa and then you come here, I noticed that most of the students, they are able to pass their class even if they don't speak English. And the big reason is why in Africa they taught us to study so many subjects at the same time. Then when you got here, your brain is able also to study in English, to adapt very easy. And we're gonna do the transition and talk about the language.
That's why I didn't even want to go. I didn't want to go forward because even in Africa there are a lot of talks about how to reform the educational system. Because in most of the countries they're still teaching the things that were taught since 30 years or 60 years.
The colonial.
It's not updated. The system is not updated. And if you see here, everything that we study here is like current. We just using the knowledge. That's great.
It's really
a lot of difference between Africa and Africa is moving because I don't want really to talk about the educational system about Africa because it's something different.
But it's good sometimes to give
talk about the difference.
Your impression.
It's okay. I don't want my brother Isas to start talking about the Burkina Faso,
No, when I'm not talking about Burkina Faso.
I know you're not talking about Togo too.
About like West Africa, French-speaking country, like in general.
No, you don't know my country.
I know I don't have so many, I don't have so many knowledge about your country and stuff. But at least I can try to guess because your country is in my country, two countries bordering each other, and the school system is pretty much the same. You guys have nothing to hide.
That's not the reason.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Talking about that, I just wanna mention the language part, guys. I know you all come from. We all come from francophone country where we speak French. So that was new, maybe to start speaking in English. So how did you guys? I want to know what tips did you develop to be able to communicate in English and be able to succeed in your study?
Like the tips for future students.
First of all, you have to talk to people. That's how you improve. You also have to maybe watch movies
Yeah.
without the subtitles.
Without the
Oh, yeah.
subtitles. I always do that.
And also listening to music and read.
And there is also some application, right?
Yeah, there's some
Google
app that
Translate.
can help, but not Google Translate. Google Translate, that's another thing.
Yeah, that is good. Just try to adapt to yourself. I don't know, some guys, do you wanna?
Oh yeah, that's learning English had been the great part of my experience here, because when I came here, I couldn't even hear, when people were talking, I couldn't even know what they're talking about, because back in the, it's not because I didn't know about English. I could read in English. I learned English when I was in my country, reading the English, but I couldn't speak English anyway. But the English that we were speaking, even in my country, was British English, and the accent was very different. When I came here, they were trying to speak to me or to talk to me. I couldn't hear. Even my advisor, she's going on Google Translate and she writes and then I read in French for some part of it. But what was the secret? I took the ESL class, and from this ESL class, that is something that interesting. When we come from abroad, they put us together with people that coming from abroad. You can see people like from Latin America, people from Asia, people from Europe that doesn't speak English. They all don't speak English, and then we are in same class. So being there with the people who trying to learn English, it brings us to talk,
Right.
to talk every time, even though what we're saying is not right or is not quite what is supposed to be. We're trying to learn and to talk to each other.
Yep.
And there's something also I noticed very interesting is when I came here, there wasn't somebody in school that could speak French. I was the only one.
Wow.
So that was the motivation for me to learn English so that I can speak to the people in my environment. So every time I can interact with them and then talk to them, that was very, something that very
And
helped.
also don't be afraid, because it's really difficult to speak by using another language that is not your language. You will make mistake. You will pronounce some word wrongly. But what I like is, like, for me, for example, I didn't feel like people was judging me.
No,
Even if they don't understand, they will be like, "Oh, can you repeat what you say?"
Yep.
Or they will try in another way
to bring you to understand.
Exactly. And this is really encouraging, because even though I know my English wasn't good, till now I'm still learning. Like, I won't talk French like fluently. But just don't be afraid to communicate. Don't be in your bubble. I don't know how to say it. And just be like, I'm not gonna talk, because if I talk, people will laugh at me. That's not the case. For most of, I can say most of people will not judge you. I'm not gonna say it in general, but most of them.
Okay.
And then,
I think I'm going to give my tips because I think it's very motivating. So when I came to United States, to be honest, as some guys already mentioned, we all come from French-speaking countries. So when it comes to United States, everything is very different. So everything is written in English. So there is no getaway. You don't have any choice. There is no getaway. Though there is no other thing that you can do in order to escape this one. In order to succeed in the United States, to get a decent job, to go to school, to get a really strong grade, to succeed everywhere in the United States, you need to be able to communicate. Right. So my first years, as some guys already mentioned, there was always some ESL class. ESL classes, like English as second language, in different colleges and universities. If you notice that once you first comes, they are going to make you pass a test, take an exam. If they figured out that your English level is not very strong, they will put you in ESL classes. Those ESL classes could also help you. And also you said that do not be afraid of people. Don't be afraid of people. Just go ahead and just interacting with them. My second tip that I use is just to get myself involved in school activities. Because you don't have to be in your own environment and be like, I'm learning English using like like applications and stuff. Sometimes in school is not enough to learn English, even at the just play. Sometimes it's not enough. Sometimes you need to get into like some big challenges like school activities, getting yourself involved. I got myself involved in so many activities. I don't want to mention it right here. And in those activities, sometimes you will be given, you will be sometimes they will be not testing you, but sometimes you will be giving the speech. Just talk to us about your culture. And people are not going to make fun of you. They are always trying to learn, even if you don't. They know that you don't speak English. Yeah. English is not your native language, but they will be also helping you, to succeed very easily. Exactly. Get yourself involved in school activities.
Yes. Before we finish with the language part, I just want to mention that if you come to the United States as students, automatically you will learn English, and then you will get part of English. But if you didn't come as students, it will be on your effort, your own effort to speak English. Because there have been people in the United States probably for more than 30 years they don't speak English. So that's why the part of language is not automatic. It's not automatically because you live in the United States you can speak English.
No, I said in order to succeed.
Okay.
Alright guys, so to finish this video, I'm just gonna go ahead and ask you guys, like in case you have any kind of advice to give to all future students that plan to come here for their study, what would it be like, some advice for them?
Yeah. I think some guy will go ahead and take this one because I know he got a lot to say.
United States is a great country, and then the educational system is very good too. If you want to come and study, and then be sure that you have a lot of information about schooling and the life in the United States. Whether when you have them and you judge, you wait and then you see, your possibility to be successful in this country. Because if you are ready to study and you have everything that you need, you will be successful. In this country. That's one thing. And maybe to finish, there was something that I forget to mention. Something I like about the Americans, the United States, is something how they love the pets. That's something I learned here. That people love the dog and the cat. We used to hate the dogs and cats. Sometimes we shooting the stones on them. But now I love the cats, and then sometimes even I carry them, I play with them. I learn.
Okay, that's good. People change.
Yes.
Depends on the environment. What about Kenny? We go ahead.
Kenny, go ahead.
In the US, you can become whatever you want to be. It depends. If you came here to study, you need to be focused. Not be distracted by everything that's going on. You will see people doing other things other than studying. If you want to follow them, I think you will be lost. It takes like a lot of self-control, in this country, to stay on track.
Perfect, madam. Thank you.
And discipline,
Right. That is good. Isa?
Okay, thank you so much for any advice for the future student that's planning to come to United States to pursue their education. So once you come to United States, you're coming from one of the greatest countries. So if I can say that United States is the greatest one of the greatest country in the world. If I personally ask me on my own experience, what's make United States the greatest country in the world? It's the equality of chance and also the diversity. The diversity means that when you're coming to United States, you're expected to meet many people from different cultures. When you meet people from different cultures, you're going to meet your own, some people from your culture. So one of the advice that I got, so do not always stay in your backyard, your environment, your people from the same that has the same culture like you. Because if you stayed over there with people from the same culture like you guys mostly will be speaking only traditional language, like a traditional language, because in Africa we have official language and with traditional language. Once you stay in keep speaking with traditional language, so you are not going to sometimes get out of your environment. Sometimes when you come, you need to try to make new friends. New friend doesn't always mean that people that you're going to meet here from your culture. Some people from Europe, some from South America, try to build a really strong relationship with that. So where you have no choice rather than to speak English to understand each other. So I think this one is also going to really level up, to motivate you to speak English, because once you're facing someone and you know that person doesn't speak your traditional language, he doesn't speak your official language, you're going to try your best to speak. By keep motivating yourself, sometimes you're going to see that your English is just coming like natural. Everything will be perfectly very easy for you. So don't overstay in your backyard environment. Sometimes you need to leave your environment and take some big challenges and stuff.
Perfect. Thank you, Issa. So yeah, that is okay.
Yeah, on va conclure parce que on a
Yeah,
trop-
je comprends. Moi-même, je crois. Thank you, Issa.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna add that regarding some advice for future students who plan to come here, I would just tell them before coming to try to have a plan, and when they got here, to just try to focus on their study, focus on success, and if there is any opportunity that came to you, try to ask a question before signing any document, college document, banking document, whatever. Ask a question before you do anything, because that will really help you. And also the rest is chance and just confidence and communication and respect. Respect people as you want them to respect you. And I think you will success in your life.
Good attitude.
Right. So that was all for our experience here in United States. If you guys have some experience to share with us, you can comment or send us email or messages. Thank you for following us, and see you next time for another
Video.
video.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.